So there are two methods to stream with your ZV-E10. The first method is pretty easy. You just need your camera and a USB-C cable, but you're limited to 720p and there's some other caveats. The second method is a little bit more complicated and it costs a little bit of money, but you can shoot in 1080p, 4K with no limitations. So for the easy USB method, we need to change two settings. First, you're going to go to tab 5 and then the first page. Go to power setting options and turn your auto power off temperature to high. Then you're going to go to tab 2 and select the USB streaming option. And then you're just going to plug in your camera's USB to your computer. And then you just go into OBS, Zoom, whatever streaming platform you're using, and you select your camera. That's it. Now the second method, as I mentioned, doesn't limit your resolution or anything like that. You can shoot at max resolution, no limitations. And to do that, we're going to start off the same way. We're going to go to tab 5, the first page, and then change that power setting temperature max to high. Then we're going to go over to page 2 and go down to HDMI settings, and then we're going to turn HDMI info display to off. Now instead of using USB-C for this method, you need to use HDMI. So you're going to need something called a CamLink device. You can get these pretty cheap, but they kind of suck. I would suggest investing about $80 into the Elgato CamLink. I'll have it linked in the description. And then you're going to need a micro HDMI to HDMI cable. You're going to plug the micro HDMI into your camera, plug the HDMI end into the adapter, and then the adapter into your computer. Then just like that, you turn on your camera and it'll show up in your streaming software. That's it. I personally use method 2 for my YouTube videos. It just, I don't like to shoot at 720p, so I use the method that gives me higher resolution. Now the last thing to keep in mind is if you are streaming for a long period of time or doing video chatting, you're going to need a continuous power source. So I would suggest buying a dummy battery. Essentially you put it in the battery compartment of your camera and then you plug it into a continuous power source. And then finally, you're going to need good audio and good lighting. I use a giant window. Thankfully, I just shoot during the daytime. I don't invest in lighting. And I use the Fifine K688. I have a link for that right there. Otherwise, like I said, everything in this video you can find in the description. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll catch you next time.